Today we are pouring a 3D bloom in a little bit of a different style. This design is inspired by Zarin Resin Art and Callie from Callie's in the Kitchen. I will link both of their YouTube channels below so you can take a look at how they did theirs as well. It's just kind of neat, interesting, and I think part of the learning process to see how everybody does it. I think we all do it a little bit differently, similar obviously, but not the same result. Callie, I believe, used a irregular large geode tray, and Zarin actually used a large leaf. I haven't been able to find the large leaf mold that Zarin used, but I just tried to use what I had on hand. This is just a cheapy mold I ordered from Amazon. It's a fairly large rectangular tray mold. It's about 12 inches by 8 inches, and it's about, I think it's about a quarter inch deep. And I am using, the resin I'm using is UltraCast by EliChem. I did wait till my resin heated up to 35 Celsius just because I find that helps the blooms that I want to get, because this is a longer working resin. It is a 2-to-1, it's thicker. It takes a while to heat up, so just so my inks aren't sitting around waiting, I just wait for my resin to warm up and thicken up a little bit before I start working on it. Just zapping out some bubbles. It's also pretty low bubble. On the resin side, there was 2 other brands that I used to like to use in my blooms, but I'm finding since I ordered the UltraCast that I really like it for this. And now I'm laying, and I just eyeballed this, the center line, and it's a multiple colored crushed glass. I ordered this on Amazon as well. I can't remember the brand name, but I'll show it to you guys, and then I will also link it at the bottom so you can see what I use. Just trying to make it somewhat thick. Then I'm going to go in here in a minute with my bamboo skewer to make it jagged, so it's a little bit on the irregular side. Kind of reminds me of a EKG. The lines that you get with the up downs. There's the brand of crushed glass that I use, and now I'm starting to make the EKG, I guess, like effect. That's the easiest way I can call it on this one, to make my jagged center line. Again, I just eyeballed this. Obviously I didn't measure it out, so just trying to kind of, I guess, provide visual interest in the middle, and then that kind of makes your eye get more drawn towards the center once everything is put together. Just popping out some bubbles. You have to be careful with that crushed glass, because those air bubbles have a tendency to get trapped under there. I did mix these in just a small amount of resin before I made the line, but you still have to go in and pop some bubbles. I used alcohol inks by Octopus fluids for all my colors, so I'm dropping that right now. This is the honey. I dropped it on top of the crushed glass there. And then I thought I was going to do carrot next, but I decided not to. I actually chose to go with the green. This is the lime. And I'll explain here in a minute why I chose how I laid out my colors. And I did lay down quite a bit of alcohol ink on this tray just because I wanted the entire tray filled up with a lot of color. The next color that I dropped down this is Ocean, also by Octopus Fluids, and I'm just kind of randomly, I guess not really random, but like placing my drops along the edge of where the previous line stopped expanding with the alcohol ink. Now I'm dropping berry juice, and then I'll go back here in a minute and fill in mainly the corners with the berry juice where it didn't fill in. And now I'm dropping some carrot just kind of over the middle of the crushed glass. I did it 3 times, try to even them out just a little bit. And again, I said I was going to tell you the reason why how I chose to lay out the colors is because I wanted them to be in an order where they would blend and not muddy. So obviously you don't want to mix a purple and a yellow together because that's going to turn brown. You don't want to do blue and orange or red and green. Those colors are opposite on the color wheel and they will not blend together like the yellow and the blue will make green. Blue and red make purple. And things like that. So I try to keep colors that will blend and make other colors out of the primary ones in my tray. So that's actually why I set it up that way and how I decided to lay the colors out. And I'm going to go in and hit swirl. I just kind of swirled the colors together. And I went from the bottom up, just kind of like did little curly cues. Now I'm actually laying out the bloom paste. This actually reminds me of cursive E's that we used to write, obviously, when we were in grade school. And you just keep doing these little curly cues around. I try to make consistent, thick, even lines out of the bloom paste and resin. And I mixed up 50 grams of resin, and I use 5 drops because the paste is 1 drop per 10 grams for my white, and that's how I was able to get it to bloom. And it actually, the final product, I think, bloomed really nicely. So shout out, kudos for Julie's paste. I will link that below also. Really takes the guesswork out of doing blooms. It makes it so much easier than when I first started working on resin. And it's seriously a no-fail. If you use it, it's a no-fail. So I highly recommend purchasing it. And you can get it actually from Amazon in the US. Just doing my piping bag, I'm going to do one more outer edge of the curly cues around each side. So I'm doing that. And then I'm actually going to go in with my bamboo skewer, and you think of it like a leaf and like how the veins of a leaf work, right? So all the veins of the leaf, because we're going to do a diagonal line through it, they all go in the same direction to the middle. So that's how I decided to draw the lines, which you'll see here in just a minute. Callie's diagonals actually stayed really nice. Some of mine on this one, I guess I'm going to say bloomed out, but I still think it came out decent. But Callie gets a little bit different effect than I do. And same with Zaren's resin art. Hers is more, I think her tray too is also a little bit more linear, like those diagonal lines are more defined. Then in mine kind of went vertical instead of diagonal when all was said and done. But it doesn't bother me. I still think the end result, the bottom product, last of the product came out super nice. So I still like it, even though it might be different. And that's okay. I mean, everybody, you know, they put their own spin on things. And that's kind of what makes it unique. And that's one fun thing about resin is you could have the same product, same resin, everything, and have 10 people do it and they're all going to get a different result. I swear to God, it's never the same result. So, and I like that. I like that each piece is unique. Kind of reminds me of snowflakes, right? Each piece is unique and in its own way, and there's never going to be an exact replication of something that you've already done. And sometimes, you know, that's what makes resin tricky, but I also think that's what makes it fun and interesting, is just trying out some new things. And, you know, at least you can get a similar result to somebody else's, but it may not be the exact same, like say crocheting a blanket. Resin just doesn't work that way. Done with that. This is the unmolding, and I actually I had to go to a work conference, so I probably unmolded this too soon. I was trying to have some stuff ready to post while it was gone. Unfortunately, I got super busy and I didn't get to it until today, but it's a little bit soft here still. But I mean, it just, I don't know, I love this piece so much. I think it came out so cool. So thank you, Callie and Zarin. What an awesome pattern. I mean, wow. It just stellar. And I think Julie's bloom paste also had a major impact on the final result of this, as well as the Octopus fluids. The colors you get from Octopus, as you can see, are very, very vibrant. Have a good one. Bye-bye.